This is Andi Purewal, Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm joined by Johnny Nelson here in Manchester. I just want to assure people Johnny's doing nothing dodgy off camera. He's just shaking his drink. Johnny, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm actually looking forward to this today. It's interesting. I've got a vested interest.
I was about to say, this must in particular be one you'll be keeping a close eye on in your old weight class.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you know, you've got to look at the cruiserweights in and around at the moment. You've got some guys that are massive, Reactors, Okolis, people like that. Then these guys are all about the average height. You know, you look at the records, nobody's had more than a dozen fights. And it's intriguing. It's intriguing because they're still naive enough to want to make a name for themselves. So they think, no matter what, I've got to win tonight. So, you know, to me, it's exciting. And plus cruiserweight, it's never been that glamorous, hasn't it? And so slowly but surely, now all of a sudden, the cruiserweight divisions, when it's competition, you know, that's when things are good.
What has to be a fighter's mindset heading into Saturday night, Johnny? Because it's only three-minute rounds. It's very much, it's got to be short, explosive and quick. You've got to try and make an impact, and you can't really rely on the judging of a scorecard.
Without a doubt. So, and I think you've got to be just fast out of the blocks. And you've got to make sure you just rub it out. It's like tennis. You lose a point. You just got to forget about that and put it into the next round. So what I'm saying is, when you won one fight, you've got to forget about it, get in there fresh again, and do it that way. So you know, it's mindset, and you've either got to be completely ignorant or very, very cunning.
Elisoro goes into it as a favourite because he's further along in his career. He's had more fights, obviously, but does that all go out of the window because of a format and because of what could go down on Saturday?
Listen, I'm quite sure everybody's looked at Elisoro and thought he's the target because they've looked at his record, but then they've looked at who he's fought. So are they intimidated or impressed by him having 11 fights and unbeaten? No. They're thinking, you know what, I'm going to crack this egg. So in a way, you've got everybody that's kind of on a level playing field here.
John, I know you did an interview with my colleague Ryan yesterday at the Ben Whittaker announcement. Massive signing for Sky. I could see you just kind of smiling there as you was drinking your drink. I just spoke to Sugar Hill, and Sugar was saying to me that when Ben come out of the Olympics, he can see comparisons between Ben and Roy Jones Jr. Can you see that?
You know what? Let me tell you one thing. It doesn't matter what you think looking at this. In our sport, when you hear things about a certain fighter and rumours fly rapidly around the circuit, I don't mean from the average man in the street. I mean from fighters in the game, from people in the game, coaches and fighters. You know, when you hear that rep, you think, I've got to see this. So people on the outside are thinking, what's all the hullabaloo, what's all the buzz about this guy? I want to know. The things I've heard about this young man is ridiculous. You know, so we might have had a touch and seen him a little bit in the Olympics, but what I've heard about him is ridiculous. And so if he can back up the boast, it's about being a full package, being a salesman. So if he can back up the boast, this guy he will be a superstar.
Johnny, that link up with Sugar Hill, how much do you feel that's going to benefit him, and how much do you believe that was the right move? Because we know about Ben's skill set and how fleet-footed he was throughout the amateurs, but with Sugar we know he comes for the knockouts. Is it kind of a perfect match made in heaven, provided Ben doesn't lose the qualities he's had throughout his career so far?
Well, knowledge is power, and look how Sugar's kind of polished, got a polished finish with Tyson Fury. And so yeah, you know, that's a decision that he's made, and I'm quite sure Sugar Hill's on a high at the moment. So why would he associate himself with somebody that's not really going to do nothing? You know, he's going to associate himself with the best because he's good for his own business. So I think that union between those two is good.
Now, I know Adam isn't here, and I'd usually put this question to him, but I'm going to put it to you instead. Obviously, Ben being looked after by 258 and Anthony Joshua. We're still waiting to see where he goes on a network front. You're obviously working with Sky. You speak to AJ as well, outside of just what's going on in his boxing career. Are you confident you will see Anthony Joshua team back up with Sky going into that Alexander Usyk rematch? I
hope so. I really do hope so. I think, and AJ's made it quite clear, this is business. So he's going to look at what makes best business for him. And so if it makes best business for him doing it on Sky, which in my head it does, then it'll be on Sky. You know, one thing I have learned in this game is don't get giddy and excited until you hear it out of his mouth. He did that with the Tyson Fury AJ fight. That never happened. So let's wait and see.
Is there more pressure on AJ heading into the Usyk rematch than what there was the Ruiz one?
Oh yeah, without a doubt, because he's lost to Ruiz, he's lost to Usyk. Now, and it didn't. The way he lost to Ruiz, and the way, you know, it's a tough one. Because now, against Ruiz, people thought, nah, he's not going to win, because they actually didn't know the measure of the man. Now they know the measure of the man when he went in with Alexander Usyk. And Usyk, he outboxed him. He outboxed him, so now you think, God, is this a harder task? Because he righted that wrong in regards to Usyk. Now he's going to right that wrong in regards to Ruiz. Now he's going to right that wrong with Usyk. How is he going to do it? He's not going to outbox him. So what does that leave you with?
He's got to be aggressive. He's got to go for it.
Without a doubt, he's got to go for it. He's got the size, he's got the power, he's got the youth, he's got the movement. He's got to go for it, and I'm quite sure Usyk's expecting that.
Have you had any conversations with AJ about that? Because it seems to be that's the noise that's coming out of his camp. He wants to go back to and revert to the AJ of old.
It's common sense. It's common sense. What else is there? If you and I are playing chess and you've been playing it for years and you're a master at it, I've got to find a way to beat you. And I've got to bring my own little sugar into it. I've got to bring something into it. You've never got to cheat. I'll slap you and just move some places. But I've got to do something that works better for me.
I asked Sugar about the current situation with Tyson Fury as well. The WBC had originally said they were going to kind of look for an answer from him if he's going to vacate, if he had officially retired. And Sugar's just said to me, he said differently, and they're not going to do so. Do you think this is the end of Tyson Fury in boxing?
Nah, I don't. That point blank, no. It's his medicine. Even his wife said it. I don't believe that. He probably feels like that today. But, when the dust settles and he's at home, Tyson's a fighting man. That's one thing he's always said, I'm a fighting man. And so, will he be happy doing anything but fighting? No, I think he'd struggle without it. So give it time. He might mean it today, but he definitely ain't going to mean it tomorrow.
Do you believe the only fight then he would return for would be the winner of Joshua Usyk?
I don't think he cares. I think he just wants to fight. He likes to fight. So if it isn't Joshua, if it isn't Usyk, or if he does fight those two, and he wins, is he going to retire after that? No, I don't believe he will. He'll do it in his own time. But right now, listen, that could be completely wrong. But I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I'm seeing people kind of ask the question as to where would Tyson rank in the history of the heavyweight division out of all the past greats that we've seen throughout. Where would you put Tyson?
I'd put him up there. I'd definitely put him up there. But you've got to also look at what's around at the time. So it's very hard to compare a fighter that's living to a fighter that's past, because you've got to look at the competition that's around. You've got to look at the other heavyweights in the division. So how significant, how outstanding are the wins. But for Tyson Fury's ability, he's proved he can box every way going. Southpaw, orthodox, offense, defense, side to side, have a scrap. Fight clean, fight dirty. He's just shown that he's an all-round fighter.
Johnny, we've also seen Ben Shalom mention that Hughie Fury and Michael Hunter's been agreed for July. Terrific fight.
It is. Hughie Fury's had to lay in his trade in the public eye. Hughie Fury's had to. So he's going to get the criticism. He's going to get the praise. So now is his time to step up and be looked at and recognised as a heavyweight.
Johnny, we'll leave it there now. Leave to enjoy the rest of your day as this is about to start. Thank you.
Thank you, Press.